You can trust us, says China. Compared with Donald Trump, Xi Jinping looks like a more reliable trade partner. Aaron Connolly, Asia diplomatic editor and Singapore bureau chief, The Economist. In late 2026, Xi Jinping will host a grand gala dinner for the leaders of just over 3/5 of the world economy. The Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit, to be held in China for the first time since 2014, will cap a turnaround for China's reputation. Mr. Xi wants the world, and particularly Asian countries, to see China as their most reliable economic partner, in implicit contrast to the uncertainty surrounding trade with President Donald Trump's America. Already, China showed flashes of this strategy in 2025. At the end of October, it signed an upgrade to its free trade agreement with the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. That China was able to get Southeast Asian countries to agree to this was remarkable. They have been blaming China for undercutting their own manufacturers by dumping low-cost goods in the region. The new deal will actually make it harder for Southeast Asian countries to block China from exporting its excess capacity. But in a world in which America has become the central source of geopolitical risk, smaller countries have few alternatives. Compared with Mr. Trump, Mr. Xi looks like a far more reliable economic partner. In the coming year, China hopes to sign new trade deals with Gulf states, Switzerland, and South Korea. In June 2025, Mr. Xi announced unilateral reductions in duties for imports from Africa. Just months later, Mr. Trump abandoned a program that had offered African countries access to American consumers in exchange for implementing free market policies. A more ambitious goal for China is membership of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a grouping that Barack Obama once hoped would shift the region's center of economic gravity away from China and towards America. Mr. Trump withdrew from the deal on the first day of his first term. Japan and Australia are reluctant to even consider letting China in, having been the targets of Chinese economic coercion in recent memory. But as trade barriers go up around the world, their determination may waver. By the end of 2026, China could be on the way to getting in. What if? In September, Indonesia's president, Prabowo Subianto, gave in to protesters' demands and slashed MPs' compensation. Protests eased, but now MPs have been given another generous allowance. What if more protests pushed Prabowo to declare martial law? Some advisors want a tougher approach, but the move would send the country into crisis. Key to the success of its economic diplomacy will be how China handles APEC. The organization, made up of 21 countries, usually flies under the radar. Set up in the halcyon days of the early 1990s to liberalize trade across the Pacific, its free trade mission foundered during the Asian financial crisis of 1997 and never recovered. Most years, it ambles on merely as an annual forum where national leaders can meet to talk about the economy, and is one of the few that the American and Chinese presidents regularly attend. But APEC kicks into high gear when it is hosted by a big economy like China. Hosting means chairing dozens of meetings on economic policy in a given year, and chairs set the agenda. Big countries often use it to push their preferred economic model. China's economic mandarins have yet to reveal how they plan to take advantage of the agenda in 2026, but there is little doubt that they will seek to tighten ties between members' economies and their own, just as America is cutting them. An ambitious goal for China is membership of the Trans-Pacific Partnership. China might try to woo APEC members, and countries farther afield, by drawing distinctions with the Trump administration in two areas in particular: artificial intelligence and climate change. Whereas America has boasted about winning the AI race, China's AI diplomacy has presented the technology as offering a leg up for countries in the global south. On climate, too, China has played the responsible party, offering modest emissions reduction targets that nonetheless look attractive compared with Mr. Trump's declaration that global warming is a hoax. America could yet play spoiler. Mr. Trump's threat to slap a 40% tariff on transshipped goods remains woolly. There is no set definition of transshipment. But some analysts think that if trade relations between China and America deteriorate in 2026, Mr. Trump could use that mechanism to go after countries that have struck new trade deals with China. That would only further diminish America's reputation as a reliable economic partner.